NASA knows a secret about you. The US government has a secret about you. The elite have a secret about you. There's a reason that black cells are literally in outer space. Your royal DNA cellular bloodline is filled with the God particle, but it lies dormant within you. Beloved, my name is Vicky Dillard. I received supernatural insight concerning your messenger DNA code from a supernatural messenger. If you're not supernatural, this isn't for you, but if it's for you, you don't want to miss my ancestral messenger DNA code activation part 2 on the most magical date of the year. Don't miss it. The link is below. Signs and wonders follow. Don't miss it. 12/12/21 is your day to ascend into your God particle.
Well, we have an update to a story that we covered in 2017. Now, there's a sister by the name of Charleena Lyles. She was killed by the race soldiers back in that time period. It was utterly ridiculous how they did this young sister. But the family of Charleena Lyles and the city of Seattle have reportedly reached a settlement regarding the 2017 race soldier shooting incident that left the mother dead after she called authorities regarding a burglary. Once again, black folks call the police and they the one getting killed. Now, according to the family attorney, Karen Kohler, they said the Seattle Police Department has agreed to a payment of $3.5 million after race soldiers Stephen McNew and Jason Anderson shot and killed the 30-year-old sister. They say the two race soldiers were responding to a 911 call placed by Lyles after a burglary at her apartment near Magnuson Park on June 18, 2017. Lyles, who was reportedly a victim of domestic violence with documented mental health issues, was gunned down in her northeast Seattle apartment after the race soldiers claimed she suddenly attacked them with 1 or 2 knives. She was shot 7 times. Said Lyles, pregnant at the time, was pronounced dead at the scene. Her family initially filed a wrongful death lawsuit 3 months later, where they also alleged that officials were negligent and that they violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. But in 2019, former King County Superior Court Judge Julie Spector dismissed the case. Now, it was reported that an agreement was established in exchange for dismissal of the trial, scheduled to be heard by Judge February 7, 2022. However, the family still wants charges to be filed against the race soldiers, which we know they were white. It said Lyles' 16-year-old son, who is identified only as Q, said that no amount of money would bring my mom back, and that he still wanted to see the race soldiers that did this prosecuted. Now, it said during a Zoom call, Lyles' cousin Katrina Johnson said she appreciated each and every person that was out there and willing to put their bodies on the line, to be pepper sprayed, to fight for something bigger than themselves, and being willing to say my cousin's name. Said we're not done until the race soldiers are held criminally liable. Now, the race soldiers' actions were ultimately deemed justified. You know, killing in a culture of white supremacy is justified. Y'all have to understand that. The culture of white supremacy always says killing is justified unless someone do it to them. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. They always say killing is justified, like they're God, and you wonder why their system is tumbling down. Although Anderson, who was certified to use a taser and required to carry it under SPD policy, received a 2-day suspension for failing to do so on the day of the shooting, the taser battery had died and it was in his locker. That's in a statement regarding the settlement. Dan Nolte is a spokesman for the Seattle City Attorney. Pete Holmes acknowledged the indisputable tragedy and said they were glad to have some level of closure for the parties. However, the city noted it stood by the multiple layers of review of this event and pleased that the race soldiers will be dismissed from the lawsuit. The remaining parties will be mutually seeking judicial approval for a resolution of all claims. Now, the sister is survived by 2 girls and 2 boys, now 5 and 16. They're being raised in California by Lyles' aunt, Mary Kilpatrick, who plans to adopt 2 of the youngest children who have special needs. And so the attorney said the money would be held in a trust for the kids. So, the only thing I'm just shaking my head about this story is that the race soldiers, once again, get away with it. And remember, the word, it was justified. Killing is always justified in relation to black folk with the white supremacists. In the culture of white supremacy, it's always justified especially when they kill black people. And this is why I speak in the tone that I speak when I talk about them. This is why I use the term devils, because listen, even in the Bible, Jesus himself said the devil has come to do what? The first thing he said the devil has come to do is to kill. Think about that. That's the first thing that Jesus said what the devil has come to do, to kill. So when you hear them saying, oh, it's justified, because it's in their culture to kill and say it's okay. Only someone that has the characteristics of the devil will say it's okay to kill people and don't be held accountable for it. Go home and just do your thing. The second thing that Jesus said was the devil has come to steal resources, steal people, steal lives, steal inventions, steal people's melanin. You don't want me to go there. Stealing. And the third thing that Jesus said, the devil has come to destroy civilizations, destroy people, destroy cultures. Black Americans is a great example of the destruction of culture. All of us in Black America, if you think about it, they destroyed our cultures that we come from. We've created our new culture, but we should be speaking an African dialect, whether it's Kiswahili, whether it's whatever, right? We should be speaking that. No different than when you see an Asian person speaking their languages, or an Arab person speaking their languages, or Hispanic person, or whoever persons, right? When we see each other, we should be speaking our own language. Now, I know some of you may say, well, we got the Tut language, but that is not nothing that we were speaking and kept, okay, all the way up until now, okay? So what I'm saying is our names, our heritage, that's part of destruction. So when I say devil, I'm only repeating what Jesus said because they're meeting all three, what he said: killing, stealing, and destroying. So when you hear them say, oh, it's justified, understand that's that culture of white supremacy in them, the culture of killing, to say it's always justified to kill a person, especially if they black. It ain't nothing that you can do wrong when you killing black folk. And the only time that they do something about the killing, until we make them by collective pressure. If we're not having really collective pressure on them, nah, it's all good. That's part of your job. Listen, they put in the rules that they can just kill and there's no problem. They ain't got to get no permission. They can just do what they want because they can just be in fear of their life. Right? I'm scared. That's a personal perception. I'm scared, so I'm going to kill you. Once again, when they doing it to you, it's always justified because what? In their culture, killing is okay. And in their culture is a culture of the devil. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular story. I just shake my head. 3.5 million, like the young brother said, 16 years old. It's not going to bring his mama back. It's not going to bring his mama back. $3.5 million. And on top of that, it's $3.5 million of taxpayer money. And I want you to notice something else. Notice nobody scream and yell and trip about the $3.5 million, saying, why don't the cops pay that settlement? Instead of the taxpayers, $3.5 million could be going to schools, roads, bridges, things like that. Why people won't say nothing about that? Why don't they put laws out there to say you cannot pay a settlement with city funds? It needs to come out of them race soldiers' pocket.
Living in America as a black person, you recognize there is one set of laws for you and one set of laws for those, especially in the white community. In our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, I take you through times in my life when I first started noticing white supremacy. We teach you how to recognize it, identify it, and also counter it in our book. This book is a beginner's course for those that are just starting to wake up and open their eyes to see the system of white supremacy. As a Black American person, you must understand this system, because this system is life or death to you. How you handle it, how you deal with it, it can affect your mental health if you don't understand this system. Pick up our book, Passive Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy, today on Amazon.